Okay, good afternoon everyone. I just wanted to update Queensland about the bushfires that are happening around Queensland at the moment, and also to what Queenslanders can do to help. So first of all, Laura from the Bureau will be giving an update in a moment about the weather conditions and the gusty winds that people are experiencing at the moment. But can I do a big shout out to everybody who's out there helping on the front line. We've had over 1,000 firefighters out in the field there today, and I just want to say a big thank you from everyone for the extraordinary work that you have been doing. So a couple of issues I just want to talk about briefly. In Goodwood, which is south of Bundaberg, great effort there by the crews. Unfortunately, there's been one house that has been damaged, and as you know, the school was evacuated earlier, and there has been an evacuation centre set up there at Childers. The area we were concerned about this afternoon and this evening was Wollongara, which is one of the border towns. There's 600 people that live in that town. We've just been observing the vision, and we've been getting briefings from emergency services. Can I just say this has been an outstanding work. The fire is now going around the town, so the town has been saved. This is tremendous work, and I also want to thank the New South Wales government, because we utilised their large tanker, their large plane, and that has been of tremendous service. Please listen to authorities. I understand that residents are returning back to their homes now, but the power is out. So please continue to listen to authorities, especially if there is any, if you're experiencing any symptoms due to smoke inhalation. The third thing I want to talk about is in relation to Tara. I think everybody is feeling absolutely heartbroken with what's been happening out there. We have 71 people in hotels now, so that's great. They're moving out of the evacuation centres. Already there has been assistance provided to over 600 people. I want to thank the council. The mayor has been doing an extraordinary job out there, dealing with a big situation in his small community. We are working with the council. I had my housing minister out there today, and we've identified a caravan park, and we're looking to relocate 20 caravans there as quickly as possible as well, and the state will be assisting with sewerage and connections. There are 46 people currently in the Dalby evacuation centre. There's 11 people in Chinchilla, and there have been, the assessed as 53 properties have been damaged. So we do expect that some more people will be coming into that evacuation centre depending on what happens with the fires. Big shout out to, we've got people coming to assist from Victoria and New Zealand. They should be on the ground tomorrow. And finally, before I hand over to the Bureau, I know that Queenslanders will want to be helping. I've been out there firsthand. Can I tell you, it is actually very distressing. Some people have lost everything, and everyone wants to do all they can to help. The state government will be kicking in $1 million for the bushfire appeal, and we'll be putting out to you tomorrow about if you want to donate, where you can donate. But already Give It and Red Cross have stood up their donating mechanisms. If you just go to their web pages, please give generously. We really want to help these people. They've been through so much, and every single dollar counts. So I'll hand over to Laura from the Bureau, and then we'll hand over to Mike Wassing. Thanks.
Thank you, Premier. The message this evening from the Bureau of Meteorology is that a dry, fresh and gusty southwesterly wind change has moved through the southwest of the state this morning before spreading eastward across the southern and southeastern interior of Queensland today. So as this change has pushed through the state, we have seen very dry, very gusty conditions, and we've also seen those conditions across some of the fire grounds in the southeast of the state. So some of the significant observations, we've seen 61 kilometre per hour gusts at St George and 54 kilometre gusts at Wellcamp and Dalby. And we've also just seen further west a 96 kilometre per hour gust in Oakey. So that has caused us to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds in the southeast as well. We have seen quite a few storms, not all severe, but other storms across that change as well. But we've seen no significant rainfall observations with those storms. So while the gusty and dry winds do increase via weather conditions behind that change, so once that has pushed through, we're seeing a cooler air mass which is forecast to spread through southeast parts of the state over the coming days. And this will cause fire danger ratings to decrease tomorrow, but more so by Thursday. And then in the longer term outlook, so behind this change, we've also got some showery and stormy conditions for Friday, Saturday and Sunday in the southeast of the state. So that may also provide some relief to the fire weather conditions as well. Thank you.
Thanks. Mike?
Thank you, Premier. So today we've had, again, over 80 bushfires across Queensland. But in saying that, as you've heard from the Premier, we've also had over 1,000 firefighters. That's boots on ground, volunteers from the Rural Fire Service, supported by the State Emergency Service, supported by the fire rescue staff, and all the other emergency services, which is an enormous effort. That includes aircraft. We've got over 40 aircraft. Most of those are in operations still as we speak, particularly on our major fires. So it's a huge team effort that is occurring. Today we've had 3 major fires of our focus. This afternoon we had the Goodwood fire west of Bundaberg. That escaped containment lines again because of the conditions and the hot conditions and the windy conditions. That fire is still a very active fire. We've got an emergency warning on that fire. And we have had the school in Goodwood did earlier relocate or evacuate and close down as a precautionary measure. But we've still got a lot of active fire in that area as we speak. Wollongara on the border, great joint partnership, joint operations with New South Wales. They had several fires on the New South Wales side as well, so we shared resources, really effective coordination, which is something that we're well practiced in. And obviously we continue to focus our efforts on the Tara fire in the Millmerran area also, where we're really making sure that that fire is contained and continue to progressively enable people to return to their homes and check on their own assets. Our focus in the next 24 to 48 hours is really watching these storms as they come through. Last time we got some storms come through, we got approximately 10 new fires from those lightnings, so we'll be up early checking for any new fires associated with the storms. It's probably another 2 days before we get some sort of reprieve, because we'll see some of these conditions, windy conditions that we've had today, move into central Queensland. But we have got amazing people that are battle hardened right across the state that continue to step up. And as you've heard, we've got interstate and international support continuing to come in terms of firefighters and incident management personnel, and that is planned out for the next month. So it's really to supplement and support our local crews that continue to do an absolutely amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you. Acting State Disaster Coordinator.
Thanks for that. Some excellent work being done by the Fire Department and the Rural Fire Service and all the emergency services out there around these fire zones. The work has been absolutely extraordinary over the last week, but particularly today. Today we've seen some really winds that have been whipped up very quickly. Emergency services have had to move very quickly and give messages and evacuate people in Bundaberg area and also Wollongara. It's very important for the community to listen to those messages, because it's about keeping our community safe and moving people to places of safety. I can gladly say that Wollongara itself, the fire has gone around Wollongara. It was in danger at some point in time, but through the great work of the fire service and the people on the ground and the people of Wollongara who took the sense to move to a place of safety during the fire and secured their safety, it was actually an amazing effort by everyone. And to that end, we haven't got any reports of anyone injured or killed in those fires. It's been handled very well, very safe, and the emergency service has done an outstanding job. The recovery in Tara is moving ahead. visiting the people at the evacuation centre. They've been through a lot of hardship, but they're in very good spirits. They're in very good spirits because a lot of people are out there trying to help them, a lot of services are out there helping them, and they're working through that. So can I just ask you, as a community, when you're given directions by emergency services, please abide by them because they're important. They're about your safety, and that's what we're about at the moment, your safety. We will have a loss of houses and structures, and we'll move through the assessment of those fire zones in the coming weeks and actually make a final assessment of that. But I'd like to thank the public, particularly those in the affected areas such as Wallangarra, for their safety and their good thought to move quickly, listen to the directions of emergency services, to a place of safety and keeping themselves safe. And I thank them for that. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions for anyone here at all? Yes.
In terms of resources, we know that the Western Downs has obviously been a focus for the last week. Will you be diverting resources to the Southern Downs? Or?
Yes, we've continued to. We have for some time. The Western Downs and southwest of Queensland has been effectively fighting bushfires since December last year. That was our last bushfire season that's effectively joined this year's bushfire season just due to the very dry conditions. So we've been supporting them for a long time now and we'll continue to do that. The initial crews coming from Victoria are dispatched and deployed into southwest. And we also very actively move aircraft. So today, based on the risk, we moved the large air tanker from Bundaberg down into Wellcamp, pre-positioned in case of the fires that we've had, and we'll continue to move our resources around to make sure that the fatigue and the support of our volunteers and our staff is paramount, as is the safety.
In terms of the 80 fires that are burning across the state, are all being investigated by QFES and QFES?
Yes, our aim is to investigate all fires. Obviously, some are more focused than others or easier to access than others. Some of those 80 fires are in very, very remote locations, so we've got certainly resources on them and we continue to monitor those. We've got very well-trained subject matter experts in terms of predictive servicing that model all the fires, so on any given day we're actually able to, with the weather inputs and weather fields and the topography, determine which fires are of concern that are in the landscape and again resource accordingly. But certainly the fires will continue to work with the Queensland Police Service to make sure that fires are investigated.
We've heard today that obviously there's been sort of suspected arson, particularly in the Sunny Coast area. Are you concerned that there's further arson?
I'm more concerned about the weather conditions because what we're seeing is the fires are actually jumping and sparking. So the natural course of fires is more of a concern to me. The fire at Landsborough, there is some suggestion it was lit. Police are investigating at the moment, talking to a number of people. We had a fire on Sunday that was deliberately lit down at the Alexander Hills area, and a 22-year-old male person was arrested and charged for that offence. We take a very dim view of people putting our community at risk, and where we have to, we will take action. But as part from the majority of these fires, they're occurring naturally. We've had thunderstorms last week which sparked a number of fires through lightning strikes. So I know people jump to the conclusion that potentially these fires are arson. That's not the case. We're also working against Mother Nature.